Hello and welcome to the Old Man Orange podcast. I'm Spencer Scott Holmes,
And I'm Ryan Dunigan.
and well, today, actually, first off, I'm gonna get out. Go to oldmanorange.com and check out all our crap. From there, it leads you to the YouTube and the Facebook and the Podomatic site. Also, it leads us to the iTunes.
You sell it somewhere. Like, check out our crap if you
The
want
crap
to.
is
I
there.
mean,
Fuck it. I don't give a.
if you want to, we ain't gonna twist your arm about it. But fuck it, yeah, it's there. So.
And if you
But really,
download from
please check it out. Really.
Yeah, that. Well, if you download from iTunes, even if you don't, go on there and boost up our ratings. Give us some 5 stars. Leave us some comments. That would be cool. We really only have, like, I think 1 or 2 on there.
I think we got like 3, like
And there's
5
somebody I
stars.
know,
We
so
got three,
that
five-
doesn't count nearly as much.
We got 3 5 stars. Then a friend said awesome podcast. I think.
Yeah, so go on there and boost us up. That'd be really cool. On that, leave us comments on YouTube and Facebook or anything like that, especially YouTube. Go to Podomatic, download it there if you don't have iTunes.
And check out Grit the Comic Book series on oldmanorange.com and Facebook.
And hopefully soon it'll be on Zune. I don't know why Windows is being a little bitch and not want to accept it.
We'll get to that.
I'm really surprised that Apple actually accepts it really easily and Windows hasn't, because that just seems like the exact opposite.
Because you're such an Apple guy. You're such a Microsoft guy, aren't you?
Well, it just seems like everything, like, Microsoft accepts things a lot easier. You know,
Mhm.
Mac, you have to, like, jump through loopholes to get things to work. So I was really surprised that only took 2 days. And really, like, on Zune, it's been, like, a couple weeks, and I still haven't seen any progress.
Yeah.
So I keep submitting it to them, but we'll figure it out.
It'll get there eventually.
But today we went and saw the movie Argo, the new Ben Affleck movie, also produced by George Clooney.
George Clooney produced that? I didn't
George
see
Clooney and Ben Affleck.
All right. And we're like the only people like under the age of 60 there.
Yeah, really. I mean, that happens a lot when I go to see movies. You know, it's like I'll be like the only person in a sea of gray, but that was definitely what it was there today.
Yeah. There's some people like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I heard like a few responses in there.
Well, yeah. I always go and see those movies. I guess, like, I guess they're considered old people movies. They're not really young person movies.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's not a movie that would jump out to any regular young person.
Though they have like there was like a full-on Kenner toy ad at the very end of that movie.
It really was for like the Star Wars and then Star Trek and then
Planet of the Apes toys.
yeah, Planet of the Apes toys, like all these like sci-fi things.
And the reason I know it was Kenner is because I listened to a lot of Smodcasts, and there was a time when there's an episode where Kevin Smith was just talking about all his favorite Kenner toys, and I remember that episode. At the very end, they're doing that whole thing. So and so went on to do this. So and so went on to that, and they're showing Ben Affleck's kids his shelf of all his toys, and there are literally a bunch of Star Wars and Planet of the Apes and Star Trek stuff.
Well, I knew it was Kenner because that's what made all those toys.
I'm telling the audience in case they didn't
Oh.
know.
They're telling me, I'm like, well, oh shit, I bought Star Wars toys too.
Get this. The bad guy, it's his dad.
Wait. Oh,
Star Wars.
like an Argo. Guess what? It's the bad guy in the movie, fucking Ben Affleck.
Yeah, that Iranian security guard that chases him at the end. You know? No,
Boy,
anyway.
that guy at the very end, I have to say, he really put a lot of fucking effort in. Like, I bet you, I was wondering if, like, pretty much, like, the airport was going, like, man, we shouldn't have hired that guy. That guy seems a little bit kind of, like, off the wall there. He fucking started bashing the fucking window to get through. He should have had a fucking key. He's standing next to this door the whole time, being secure. And he can't get the window open, so what does he do? He starts fucking unloading bullets into it.
Then he grabs like the Swedish chick. Unlock the door! Unlock the door! Do it now! No! You know, just I don't know what the fuck it is. She runs off, and he just starts to shoot at the fucking
Yeah,
door.
like, what the fuck? Did they hire a bunch of mercenaries to fucking work, like, security at the airport there?
I don't know what. Obviously, I don't really.
They must, I mean, like, what were they?
I wasn't there for it,
Clearly,
so I can't say. But
they'll screen fucking every single person that comes to that airport, you know, down to, like, every single detail. They must have not screened that guy very much for that job. He must have just got that. You know what I mean? He must have just showed up. He was the only one.
he was dedicated.
He was really fucking dedicated to his job. He would kill to get that person.
Well, I guess they find out, like, you know, those white people we're looking for. That's fucking them. That was his job, probably. So.
It was low because, like, the very end, the plane's fucking taking off, and there's just, like, the cops and this, like, Humvee kind of thing, or not Humvee, it'd be a Jeep, just flooring it after this plane. Like, we're gonna, like, I don't know if they're like, what are they gonna do? Like, shoot him down?
I think they're trying to cut it off. Like, oh fuck! So they stop and they see. But that's one of those things. I mean, I like I said, I wasn't there for it, so I don't know. But I mean, I know communication technology wasn't what it was back then. But couldn't they have just actually got on to like contacted the air tower ahead of
Mhm.
time and just said like, "Look, don't take off. We think there might be someone on that plane." Couldn't they have done that? I was thinking that the whole time,
Yeah,
but
same. I was saying that thing too. It's like, well, so they had to run all the way up to the comm room up there. It's like, was that comm room not connected to
was it
anything?
2 miles away?
Really, what the hell's going on?
And they get there like I was almost expecting them like there's no way. I mean, I knew somehow they're gonna get out of it, but I didn't think it was gonna be right there. And like we're out of Iranian airspace. Hell, good. And like everyone
You could
starts.
drink alcohol now.
Everybody-
Oh, thank Christ, we can celebrate.
No, but that right there because it's a big part for the movie. I know instead of talking forward, we're gonna talk backward on the movie, I guess. But no,
Yeah.
there's part at the end when it's just like we made it, and the 7 people, including Ben Affleck, they're all like they're playing the happy music, like we did it. They're hugging. Everybody else on that plane, like you
What
guys.
the fuck are you guys
Iran
doing?
can't be that bad of a place, really. You fucking hate it that badly? You just see all these
I
Iranian
fucking lived
people.
there my whole life. It's not that bad.
We could fuck either that or they
Shit, we
just,
got a KFC. I mean, what are you complaining
we
about?
did have a KFC there, right next to the guy hanging off a crane. No, but they had they're like. They must just seem like people just got out like an AA and be like, we can fucking drink.
Yeah, literally. They had fucking alcohol there. They're probably like, well, shit, you had alcohol, right? Yeah, they don't serve it on a plane in Iran, but you can fucking buy it.
One thing I was wondering was the part when maybe this isn't big of a deal right there, but do they like my whole thing is do they maybe have like Iranian spies on there? We're in Iranian airspace. We can't drink. Like, is there like really dead people like going to the government saying, "Yo, those motherfuckers drinking on that plane. We got to bring them down." Like, do they actually have that?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I
Maybe.
feel like up there, they would get like their air marshal or whatever you would call an Iranian one. It'd
I
probably just
guess
be a
you guess
fucking
so.
mercenary
I
hire.
didn't think air
The guy would
marshals.
probably go fucking ballistic the second he realized that and
It's
starts
this-
firing guns off.
It's the same dude that was working. It's a security.
These guys would take their job way too serious.
I didn't even think they really had air marshals back then, but yeah.
No, they probably didn't. Probably the stewardess would come out and like slap you with a stick or something. I don't know.
It was like a Swiss airline or
Oh
something.
yeah,
like
it was a Swiss one, so they wouldn't do anything.
I think it was something literally generic, like Swiss Airlines, just to not be confused with German Airlines. Or
Well,
something.
that's probably what it's called. I'm pretty sure they didn't just go like that. I mean,
I know.
we have
I just never
American
heard-
Airlines.
I guess we do.
and we have Hawaiian Airlines.
I guess we do. It just seems so generic, really. You think we'd mixed it up or something, like just something creative, like the outside the box, but whatever. Airline names don't bother me too much.
But they're gonna make a point.
Yeah, they are. Anyway, I guess it's hard to confuse with another one. So we should talk about the actual movie instead of just like
Well, the movie was it's pretty simple movie. Really, what it is that like it's fucking assault on precinct 13. That's what the fucking
the
intro
beginning
is.
of it.
And it's really like pretty much just a bunch of Iranians are gonna like fuck the U.S. embassy by any means possible. They are trying their damn hardest to get in there. It really reminded me of Assault Precinct 13. Like whatever they saw, like however they could break in, they were doing it,
Yeah.
and they were angry as fuck.
No, that was well.
And really, the movie itself didn't really give enough like telling you like why they were doing it. It was just more like they're doing it. Be
Well, no,
prepared.
They had the thing at the beginning saying that we put that the Shaw in power, that real douchebag,
Yeah, and that's what pissed them off.
and then when he took refuge in America, they wanted like bring him back, fine, we'll go fuck your embassy, and that's what the whole thing was about. And they captured 16, 17 Americans, and the remaining 6, which the movie focuses on, are hiding out of the Canadian ambassador's house.
Mm-hmm. Which one thing I have to say is they put a lot of fucking effort into trying to save 6 people. Like to me, it just felt like
Yeah.
they. I mean, like
No way they would this day and age.
no, I mean like that's one of those ones. It just feels like. Really, that's a lot of fucking money for 6 people. I mean, like, and secondly, these people they seem just like average Joe people, not like downgrading any person out there, but it just seemed like I just can't imagine putting all this money and effort just to save 6. It's not like they're saving the president here or anything like that.
I think it was one of those things that if they got killed or something happened, then that's the reason to go to war, and they're trying to just get them out of there and to prevent that.
I don't think that'd make them go to war. I don't think
Killing American civilians. Yeah.
I don't think that's the reason enough for America to go to war. America needs.
I think they would though back in that time during that whole Red Scare era.
Except for this isn't anything to do with the Soviets.
Well, weren't they backed up by the Soviet Union?
No.
Wasn't Iran backed up by the Soviet
I mean,
Union?
Soviets like the Soviet wanted to expand. They were trying to invade all those countries. That's why they invaded Afghanistan and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the Rand thing, I don't think had anything to do with that. I mean, obviously, yeah, you get in.
Now I feel like a
I don't know.
dumbass.
There's Jimmy Carter as the president. I'm pretty sure that the war thing was not like what he wanted.
I guess you got a good point. I forgot about Jimmy Carter. Now.
So that's why I kind of feel like, I don't know. Just seems like a lot of fucking effort for 6 people, and I don't think. I mean, if one of those people got killed, I mean, that would be like they'd be like, well, that sucked, but I don't think they would be like, oh fuck, we gotta go over there and nuke the fuck out of these guys.
I'm not saying it would happen. I can see it possibly happening. I mean, I see what you're saying, but
I mean, they got a bunch of other people captured. I mean, that's
They
what I
do.
looked at. It's like,
well, if they did kill those people, I can see it leading to that. Is what I'm saying.
maybe. I don't know.
If they, it'll even
Let's talk about old war politics now. We're going on 1979.
1980s war politics. Yeah. No. Well, I think they even said that if we shoot, there's that whole part, the Assault Precinct 13 part, where they'll break in. It says one of the security guards like, don't shoot any of them. You don't want to be the son of a bitch to start a new war.
Well, yeah. Well, that part was different though, because that means like that would have made Iran start a war with the U.S. probably if that was the case. But I'm thinking more about like the other way around. You know, it's just funny because like I remember like, don't shoot these guys. Like, if the guys start breaking, they're like, it's also the point where it's like, well, fuck it. It's either they're gonna get us no matter what, or we fire. So I remember they start shooting tear gas like point blank range at the guys. Well, we can't kill them, but we can shoot them with tear gas like right in the fucking head.
It can make him
a fucking concussion.
Make him a fucking vegetable, but as long as we don't kill him,
Yeah.
That's almost kind of like Batman.
It's like Batman
logic.
politics. As long as at the end of the day he's still breathing, I don't care.
He could be stuck in a wheelchair, never be able to walk again. But as long as he's not dead,
he could be in a coma for all I care.
Anyway, let's actually talk about the movie instead of actual politics of it all.
So simple plan is that Ben Affleck's kind of one of the guys in charge of like making decisions, and everybody else kind of has a bunch of retarded ideas. Like, let's give them bicycles and have them ride 300 miles in the snow. Which really comes across as like, boy, does that guy really even know his geography whatsoever?
I think that was almost the point of it. They're always kind of showing how stupid a lot of like, just fucking people like from Virginia are. Well, not Virginia, but I mean people in politics. How the fuck did you get there? You know?
It's just like, what the fuck? And then like, who else? What airplanes did they have? I can't remember now.
There was one that was like, go there and like hand out these magazines, pretend you're like you're feeding children that are dying. It's just like, they're in Iraq, they're in Iran, not fucking Ethiopia. Because now they probably got some thin kids in Iran.
And then there's there where they're like, well, what? They're teachers at the school there. The school closed 8 months ago. I'm fucking Ben Affleck. I know this shit. Yeah. I wrote the fucking movie.
And then there was also, well, actually, in all honesty, the parts they were in Iran, the part when they're actually planning, then they lead to say, all right, well, let's, his kid likes science fiction movies, so he gets the idea to go and get some people from Hollywood, John Goodman, and what was the other actor's name? Alan Arkin. When they're on screen together, those two just steal the show. Those two are just awesome together.
I wish they were almost in more of the movie. I know it's not really their movie, but
it was just about them and not so much the shit going on, like what they were doing the whole time.
Because they were fantastic. Well, really, like the best parts of that movie was kind of like when they were kind of like doing the movie business stuff, or at least I like that the most. Maybe because I like movie business stuff a lot.
And they were planning it all out.
And it was just because I think it was kind of funny, but it was almost like Ocean's fucking 11.
It was like Ocean, even the music, And
I thought that part was great. It was fantastic. So they pretty much are gonna make a fake fucking movie, go over there, and then turn these six guys and gals hanging out at the Canadian embassy into director, writer, producer, set designer, yada yada yada, and get them out.
Which the movie actually, the whole part, I thought the movie was almost a comedy when they stopped to plan out.
Well, the first third of it was like a comedy. Well, the first beginning was like an action movie. Then it was like a comedy, kind of like heist movie.
And then it was a straight drama. And then whenever they cut to John Goodman and Alan Arkin, it was just a comedy again.
It was still a comedy.
Everything that came out of their mouths was hilarious. Bryan Cranston works as Ben Affleck's boss in this movie.
That's really cool.
But she even had like one of the funniest lines I've heard. There's a part where they had
the best. This line, it was one of the best lines I think I've heard in like years.
In like being in a crowd of old people, they all thought it was pretty good too. So there's a line where they had to pass on the information of the job to like these two crotchety old guys. Like, they shoot down everything. So it's like, just so you know, these are like the two old fucks from the Muppet Show.
I remember, that was what's like, we both up laughing, but everybody in the theater I could hear pretty much laughing.
I like two old fucks from the Muppet
Show. Because they're like the best characters in the Muppets.
Yeah. But, only not lovable, yeah.
They're not lovable, and this made me laugh because they're just like two old crusty fucks.
Who are just like shooting down every part of the plan. Like, what the fuck else are we gonna do,
Yeah. Really?
And then they had the part where like really, Bryan Cranston is one of the last people you want to fucking piss off. Because there's that part at the end when like it's, for a while in the movie they're saying we're gonna go with this plan, we're gonna be a movie crew, and then at the very last minute Bryan Cranston calls up Ben Affleck. He says like we can't go with that plan. They're gonna do a military one. He says no, we can't do a military. So we can't do a military plan. So at the very last minute,
Like,
Ben Affleck's like fuck you, we're doing what we're doing. So then Bryan Cranston's like shit, and he starts like reassembling the plan again at the last minute, and everybody's just kind of he's like. You see him running around. He's just like, "Where the fuck is Bill? Where the fuck is Bill? Get Bill! Make him get those fucking plane tickets. Where's your child? He's picking up his kid from school. I don't give a fuck. He's really like, you see what happens when fucking Bill? It's like, don't piss off Bryan Cranston. Have you seen Breaking Bad?
exactly. He makes meth for a living now.
He's gonna fucking throw down like fermented like mercury and explode the whole fucking like CIA building. You know?
Exactly. Well, that movie also had like, speaking of the cast, it also had like very like big cast kind of from like Red State. There was 3 actors from that movie.
Yeah, there was the chick who was the redhead.
Her name was Carrie Bish, I think. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's what it is.
She was the blonde in Red State. There was kind of like the hot blonde chick from Red State.
Yeah, the chick on the fucking cover.
Mm-hmm.
And then it had John Goodman.
Yeah.
And then Michael Parks for like 2 fucking lines.
Who was Michael Parks in that?
He literally was in the movie for 2 lines, and I fucking like when like the credits came on because I was like, is that Michael Parks? And then he never came back again. Never came back. So I looked it up and on IMDb, and he wasn't in there. I don't think because he was in the credits, so he must be like that kind where like he's unbilled or whatever.
Kevin Smith
But
said,
he was literally in it for like a line or 2. Which I'm like one of the best actors you can think of. You give him like 2 fucking lines.
Oh man, Michael Parks. I wish that dude was in more stuff because he's always great in Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez movies, but he was like so fucking amazing in Red State. And Kevin Smith even said like he said that he showed Red State to Ben Affleck, and Ben Affleck never got back to him. And then he said like, oh yeah, here he's like I'm showing my he revealed the cast of people who are going to be in this movie. This is like 2 years before this movie was made, or maybe a year ago or something. And then he said like, those are a bunch of fucking Red State people. Just so what'd you think of the movie? He's like, obviously I liked it because I got a bunch of people you got in the movie.
Well, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That you know, obviously it's Ben Affleck and Kevin Smith. But yeah, it was just kind of cool because those are all good actors and actresses.
Yeah.
So the fact that Michael Parks only had 2 lines, I don't know why.
I don't even know because when I heard.
Well, I saw him up there and I was like, well, was that him? So I thought of it when I was looking at the credits. I didn't see it there, so I looked at it on the IMDb afterwards, and he was on there.
Was he one of the guys that was like in Virginia or somewhere? Was he like one of the guys working in the CIA?
No, I think he was one of the guys in like Hollywood. I think.
Was he the guy that was talking shit to
And I can't even really remember what part it was exactly.
Alan Arkin or whatever? No.
I don't remember. It was like such a small part that the only thing I remembered from it was like, that's fucking Michael Parks, I think.
Really, I think the tagline of this movie should be "Argo, fuck yourself."
Oh man, they said that throughout the movie, and that was really like. This just shows a picture of like Argo by Ben Affleck, and then underneath just says Argo, fuck yourself.
They had the balls to market the movie off that. You'd have to see it.
Or you can even just have the fucking it's a black poster, okay, and then it just says Argo at the very top. Fuck yourselves. Just leading down the fucking poster. And that's all the movie.
It's like challenging you to go see it. Go fuck yourself. You go see, go what? They need more ballsier movie campaigns like that.
It's funny because like I remember I read in this book. There's a tangent slightly, but in that Rebels on the Backlot book, and it talks about like that the producers were having a hard time marketing Fight Club.
That is the fucking.
They didn't think Fight Club was a good title. You could literally make, once again, a black fucking poster, and all it says is Fight and Club on it. Even if you never read the book or anything about it, if you see a movie poster that says Fight Club, how could you not want to fucking see that movie?
It was 20th Century Fox.
Yeah, I know. Those guys are kind of retarded at that point.
Yeah. They're getting better now.
They smartened up a bit.
Yeah.
So, ever since shit like that, but,
Fight Club. Yeah,
I just don't know how to
fucking...
Like, that sells to anybody. People love you could just, the movie was just called Fight. That's all they need. But you put Club in there, and they're like, man, I've always wanted me in a club that has fighting in it.
I just started reading that book. Not Fight Club, Rebels on the Backlot. I just started reading that book.
Rebels on the Backlot.
I'm backlot. I was drinking my tea.
But I guess back to Argo.
There's the one guy who's like generally he wasn't a hipster because it's 1979 or 1980.
Well, I guess really the hipsters kind of almost originated with like beatniks, so you could say in like the 50s. So that's really like the original like documentation of like a hipster. Actually, probably goes back farther than that. I bet you look in like France and like the.
You see them on cave paintings,
Yeah. The hipster. While everyone else was out
They wore-
fighting and like killing, somebody was focused more on issues that didn't matter to anybody else but himself.
Yeah. And he wore his loincloth the opposite way. To be ironic. No.
Well, that's some of these like people like like Ben Affleck. He does this as a fucking job. Is he goes to other countries and gets people out of shitty situations, and these people are questioning like, well, I don't know.
Just the one guy.
I've never
just the
really worked
hipster.
that position, but I really have a good feeling that that's not going to really work.
Just the hipster guy.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody else is kind of like,
It's like, my mustache is telling me this is a bad idea. His mustache like twitches. Like, don't worry, Stashy. Don't worry. We'll get through this. You know.
that's okay though. We got a passport for your mustache too. It's gonna be called McStash now. It's gotta be Canadian. But yeah, no, that guy's like, when people question like other people who do this as a fucking profession, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. No, it was a good flick. I mean, well, that guy ended up. We're talking shit on that guy. I mean, but granted, at the end of the movie, he actually really saves him and helps him get through it.
No, he pulls his weight in the long run.
But it takes a fucking long while to get to
I guess
that point.
I guess that's just the fact. It's like one's like it's almost like one. We spent all this fucking money and time to go through this operation, and you're bitching about it, and you're not really that relevant of a person. You should be goddamn likely to get out of there.
They just say that in movies. So a lot of times that sort of shit runs through your head, but they never actually address
You know,
it in the movie.
if you died, how many people are really gonna care? How many people? Fucking Ben Affleck is just showing him in his place.
Pulls over like the Daredevil cowl and all that, leans in. How many?
How many people?
Your heartbeat says you're nervous right now. Are you lying? You know.
You should be grateful, you unlucky bastard.
You an Iranian spy? You know. Pulls out like the Billy Club. No, but this movie was. I mean, it was a pretty good flick.
No, it was pretty good. It's one of those movies. I would probably say it's about a one-time watch. I mean, you could watch it again. Not saying that, but I don't feel like it's a movie I have to own. I really liked it, and I really enjoyed my experience. But it kind of feels like one of those movies like you watch it once, and that's kind of how suspense movies I always feel kind of are. They're kind of hard to get the suspense twice.
In all honesty, I think
the comedy really is worth watching again, though. But
yeah. Which
just sounds so strange. Like this movie, it really is like it's like a suspenseful comedy. If that makes any fucking sense.
Well, it's a comedy for like 40 minutes, and the rest of the movie's pretty dry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, did you notice at the very end of the movie, they're doing the usual biodrama thing where they show a picture of the actual people and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And for a while, you're kind of like, okay, yeah, they got that person down pretty good. They got that person down pretty good. And they start actually showing like frames of the movie in actual pictures, which they did get it pretty good, but it almost seems rubbing in your face, kind of like, look how accurate this shit is. Didn't we do a good job? I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the movie because they did do a good job, but they just stopped. There's literally moments where they took like documented photos and compared it to like frames from the movie.
Well, I think that's kind of good because I mean, like, yeah, it seems like that, but I'm kind of glad that they actually do get pretty accurate because we know sometimes movies people just kind of fucking go on their own trail. Like,
Yeah.
Like Patch Adams, if I've mentioned that before. Like how fucking different Patch Adams is in real life. He's actually like extremely wacky. He looks like like a rodeo clown,
Mm-hmm.
but they make him kind of well, it's Rob Williams with a little clown nose. That's how wacky he is.
And then they also like the wife didn't get murdered.
Yeah,
in
the
real
wife.
life.
Yeah, they brutally murder the wife in the movie. In real life, she's still alive because it makes for a dramatic effect.
Well, it's kind of like when you like, oh, I'm not trying to bring it down. I mean, I give him credit. It's just one of those things. Just sort of seem kind of like. I mean, it sounds like I'm shitting on it. I'm not. It just seemed kind of like my first thing came to mind was like, look at how good of a job we did. But still, no, it was a good. They did do a good job. It was a good movie.
No, it was a good movie. It's one of those movies. It's like it's good. You watch it once. I think you kind of get it out of it. But that's kind of what suspense movies are. I mean, maybe other people that like suspense a lot can watch their movies over and over again.
Maybe it's like on TBS. You could probably watch it again.
Yeah, I mean, like you can watch it again. I mean, like I'd see it again in a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's necessarily an own, but I would say it's definitely a watch.
I'm there with you. Maybe if I stop like $2 at a pawn shop, I might pick it up. But beyond that, it's like you said it best. It's probably out of Ben Affleck's 3 movies he's directed, it's probably his worst, but that's still being a pretty good movie.
Yeah, that's being pretty good.
I think The Town still has this one topped. And
No,
Gone
The
Baby
Town is
Gone
pretty
was
badass.
really good. Gone Baby Gone was really good. You see that one?
Not yet. I have yet to see that.
Oh,
one.
check that one out. That's a pretty. It's a
It's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah, I
There
don't
we go.
want to spoil it for you, but it's a good one.
Well, then there was this other movie we were going to see today, but they didn't play it anywhere in a 100-mile radius.
Gotta go to Sacramento.
But they
at
showed
some
a fucking
point.
trailers for it for the last couple weeks, and it's on fucking TV.
7 Psychopaths.
Which it was going to be a double podcast featuring both of those, but
Our town sucks. So what are you gonna do about it?
I mean, I understand that like you can only show so many movies, and when I mean, when you have like a regular movie theater, like a Regal, it's a 90% theater. It's not the 10% theater. But I still feel that like what they should do is they should take all those 10% movies, all the movies that maybe don't seem like the biggest sell, and put them on one screen and just show them like because I mean they got digital fucking cinema nowadays. You don't have to change the reels and all this stuff. It's not a big fucking deal. You press a fucking button, and show maybe 4 movies, and like because those kind of movies are the kind of movies that people like. They'll make their time for it. You know what I mean? They'll schedule the rest of their day around that movie because they really want to see this shit.
I would have. I wanted. I mean,
because we're the 10%. We actually fucking care.
I wanted to see Argo, but I'll be honest, I wanted to see Seven Psychopaths way more.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that one a little bit more too. I mean, Argo I knew was gonna be cool. I like Ben Affleck a lot, but that other one,
Well,
the last fucking movie was amazing.
In Bruges is one of my favorite movies, and
it's great because I just love because it's like, it's dark, it's a comedy, it's a drama, and it's kind of action all in one.
It was bleak as hell. Here's the thing about In Bruges, that movie, it's some of the funniest shit I've ever seen in a movie,
and then so dramatic at the same time.
And it's some of the dark, like there's a part where the little kid gets shot in the head, and they actually show that. You're like, did that just fucking happen? It just kind of blows your mind. And then you see it just tearing Colin Farrell apart. Just one of those things. It's just
But I just kind of wish it's like if you have 10 cinemas, I mean, can't you? I mean, with digital cinema nowadays, can't you just show like just put all those movies? Even if you show them like it's only going to show for a couple days. I mean, we're not asking much fucking here. You could still keep your fucking Frankenweenie and Hotel Transylvania.
Oh no, we got to make room for what was it? Pitch Slap, and
Pitch Slap, which is a fucking horrible name to start off with.
And then there was
the fucking Kevin James one.
Here Comes the Boom.
Here Comes the Boom. And seriously, I like Kevin James from King of Queens. I think he's great in that show. But all his fucking movies, he just gets like shitty roles, and like his comedy's not used very well. He's just used as a stupid fat guy, which is kind of sad because he actually is a good comedian.
Yeah, I've seen some of the stand-up.
But still, those are the movies they chose over Seven Psychopaths.
Hopefully, some point next week we'll drive into Modesto, maybe Sacramento, and go check out Seven Psychopaths.
It's probably playing Modesto because I can't imagine like at least
Modesto has like 4.
Well, the Brendan has 20 cinemas, or 20, in it. So that one probably will play that movie. And it might come in about a week or so because there was a lot of movies that came out on today.
But still, you make room for Pitch Slap. I'm just surprised that it.
Who the fuck is gonna go see Pitch Slap? A lot
of people that want to go on American Idol.
I don't want to be somebody who shits on other people's movies. I mean, what plays it to say? But still, seriously, those kind of movies, it's like, no. That's not. I don't even really consider that a real movie. I would consider those the movies that are just made for a quick buck. Kind of almost. Sadly enough, it's based off stupid fucking people going to see the movies.
Yeah,
that's really who it is.
Well, I haven't even seen the movie. I haven't even seen a trailer for it, but I can just tell from the poster they're trying to do like the whole American Idol kind of thing with it.
And I go, well, that's popular, so it will sell.
They're gonna make a buck off it while you can.
You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. It pisses me off too. And like I said, I even not trying to say, "Gee, I told you so." Not trying to be that guy, but I was like, "Should we plan on seeing Seven Psychopaths?" Like, no, it'll probably come to our theater. I'm like, "You think so?" Like, yeah.
You said that earlier. I don't remember that.
I said it last week at some point.
Did you?
Not on the podcast, but yeah, I said that at some point. Like, I think it'll come to our theater. You think so? Okay, cool. Then I saw they had like a trailer banner for it across YouTube, and I was like, it has to be.
Well, there was a trailer at what was the last movie we saw?
It was a trailer for last movie. I'm already forgetting. Taken 2.
Yeah, Taken 2. There was a trailer during that movie at our theater.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
Oh my god! I just wanted to see that movie so badly. I'll be honest. In the trailer, it looks a little bit more like a dark comedy, where I consider In Bruges a little bit more like running down the middle between drama and comedy.
Yeah, well, I call In Bruges a dramedy. It's a dark dramedy is really what it is. Because it really, I remember, it really is half and half. I mean, the stuff in it's hilarious, but then it gets all like, oh, well, this is fucking dramatic.
It has such a bleak ending, too.
I was looking real forward to that one, and, well, we'll find out at some point.
But, someday, as Ryan looks to the sky out the window.
We had some trailers that were kind of interesting.
Yeah,
we had the new Matrix movie.
Or a Cloud Atlas.
Cloud Atlas.
Keanu. Just the whole thing is just a Matrix simulation, that whole movie.
Which that movie looks pretty cool. I mean, I think we talked about before. Nothing new on this trailer, I don't think. But
the thing there's actually a 5-minute trailer on YouTube for it, like a special, like an online trailer.
Oh, that's cool.
And here's the thing with that movie. It's not even out yet. It's probably one of the movies I'm looking forward to most this year. But I think it's really going to be one of those movies. It's like, I think it's going to be one of two things. I think it's going to be like Blade Runner, where it's going to come out, people are going to hate it, and then it's going to be like well respected like 10, 15 years from now. Not saying for a fact. I'm just saying that's just what I think this might happen. We need to see the movie first. And then B, it could be like, I haven't seen this movie, but I just know it has a huge following. Southland Tales, where a majority of people hate it, but the people that love it, it's like their favorite movie, and it blows their mind.
I'm going with B on that one because I really could see that movie coming out. Maybe not getting the biggest like buy-in to it, but people that watch it that are really into this kind of like sci-fi and stuff will be like, man, this movie's fucking awesome. But a regular Joe watching is gonna be like, yeah, one the fucking Matrix 1.
I feel bad for the Wachowski brothers because it's always gonna be, it's not the Matrix 1. It's always gonna be that.
Well, they can almost have like the George Lucas thing where like they made what I consider a really good trilogy. I know some people out there would think 2 and 3 sucks, but in my real opinion, they made a really good fucking trilogy.
I'm there with you.
And it's kind of like the George Lucas thing. It's like, how the fuck do you top that now? You made Star Wars 4, 5, and 6. How the fuck are you gonna top that?
Yeah. I'll be honest. Matrix 1 is my favorite of the trilogy, and 2 and 3 there are some things about it that kind of like bog me a little bit. But overall, I think they're still really good.
I think they're very
movies.
close too, and I actually kind of like the second one a little bit more.
You like the second one more? All right, cool. But I still love 2 and 3, and I can still just throw those movies on. They never really get. I mean, I'll be honest. Matrix 3. Matrix Revolutions, that one, there's that whole kind of hour before the whole war on Zion happens, and that part's a little slow moving. I can say that, but beyond that, it was actually just an awesome movie. So all 3 of them are, in my opinion.
Well, when I was a kid, like the Matrix 3, I remember like when I first watched it, like I thought it was good, but I do remember it was just like, why aren't they in the Matrix more often, man? I mean, like this part's like slow. But when I came back and watched it, the older I got, the more I actually appreciated it and liked it a lot more. Not saying I didn't like it when I first saw it. But it's like more like I liked like a 3 when I first saw it, and now I like almost like more like a 3.5.
I remember like one of the main reasons. I mean, I don't like these movies either. But I remember one of the main reasons you hate like the scary movies and all that is because like you and a big group of people went to go see Matrix, and then like
only fucking 2 of them came with me to see the Matrix, and the other like 3 went to go see Scary Movie instead.
Yeah, which is bullshit.
I mean, Cisco came, and he never even seen he didn't see Matrix 2. I don't even know if he even saw Matrix 1 at that point. But he came and saw the 3rd one, like a good friend does.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I don't know. A lot of people are like Matrix 2 didn't make any sense. It's like just fucking. Even the first Matrix, it's one of those movies you got to watch more than once to fully understand. I'm not saying if you don't like Matrix 2 and 3, you're stupid. I'm not saying that. But it's one of those things. A lot of people just kind of like were just expecting guns blazing the whole time, and because the first Matrix, even the first one's a very philosophical film.
Well, man, I just don't get is that those movies are just not that different from each other. I mean, it's not like the Wachowski brothers just went this completely different direction, and you could totally go like, well, I see why people don't like it. That's the thing. They just expanded on what they already had. You know what I mean? It was just more story. They give you more fucking Matrix scenes. It's like they just kind of gave you more to this universe that they created, and it wasn't like they were going way different or anything strange like that. It was a fucking same thing, but I don't mean like the same thing in a bad way. And people just hate it.
I don't know. I can't really explain it. I mean, Matrix 1, people are walking out of that already a little confused. Matrix 2 and 3, they made it more confusing. There are certain things I had to double check for. And I think it's kind of like, I had to watch like Matrix 3 like 2 times before I fully understood everything in it.
Well,
there's even more than, I mean, the bare bones of it, because it's one of those things that's layered with so much like religion and philosophy and all that kind of stuff. The whole like computer Jesus thing in that movie. But
well, it is one of those kind of movies that you really do. You can't just watch it once. You just can't watch it once.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes it for each one. It takes at least 3 times, I think, to really get a grasp of it.
Well, when I first saw it, I was a little confused of how Neo died and how he still managed to feed him. Like, oh, he's hooked up to those guys, and it's the whole balance thing. And okay, yeah, except the machine. Then we saw the trailer for Flight.
Oh.
Robert Zemeckis' movie.
Yeah, finally Robert Zemeckis is doing actual live action, which is good to see.
He escaped from Tron Land.
Yeah, he escaped from CG Land, you know. Hopefully he pulled Brendan Fraser out with him, too. Poor Brendan Fraser's been stuck in there for quite some time, too.
Every movie he's in, he's like dancing with CG animals or doing something, yeah.
So there's the new Denzel movie, and was anybody else really big in it?
Denzel Washington's the only person that stands out.
That's the only person that stands out.
Oh, wait, was it, Don Cheadle. Was Don Cheadle in the trailer also?
Yeah.
Was that his lawyer in the movie, Don Cheadle?
I think that was the movie he was in, unless it was some other trailer we saw. But No, this pretty much was like it's based on a story that really is not that old at all. So I mean, they must have fucking jumped the gun the second this thing hit the papers.
Robert Zemeckis just hunching over the dude's shoulder as he's in court, just writing the script.
And it was pretty much about this like a black guy who.
I like how you just have to stop and say it's a black guy.
Well, I don't know. Like he's black. What am
He's
I
a
supposed
pilot, played by Denzel Washington.
well, I guess if you say Denzel, I guess everybody realizes it's a black. But okay, let's just say Denzel save. Like, I feel bad, like the real guy out there doing this, and we're referring to him as Denzel. Denzel pretty much saves his plane from this like fateful crash. Pretty much, he lands it perfectly, but they give him shit because he had alcohol in his system from the night before. And that's pretty much like the premise of this story. That's what I heard this news topic over,
And he might get life in prison or something like that.
Yeah, just because he had alcohol. So it wasn't like he was drinking like before he went on the plane. This was alcohol from day previous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if day previous can go together, but
I knew what you meant.
Day previous. It just sounds like some strange
previous
movie.
day.
Yeah, from the previous day.
I'm sure people will get. I don't think they're like, I'm confused. Fuck this podcast. Turn it off. Yeah.
So, what I've always learned is, if the fate of anything is left to Denzel, you can have faith.
I have faith in Denzel. He's one of those people. He could say anything and it sounds good. He could say, "Listen, man, I'm gonna fuck you. I'm gonna rape you." I'm like, it's coming from you. It's probably not that bad.
No, he'll probably actually use actual lube. He won't just spit on it.
Yeah, he'll use the high end shit. He won't, he'll like.
He's not gonna cheapen out.
Yeah,
and he's gonna know what he's doing too. It's like he's a professional at it. He gets in the character.
Exactly. Yeah.
But
and then,
that one looked kind of cool. It looked interesting. I mean, it's one of those ones like I don't know if I'd like to see it. I don't know if I'd see it in theaters, but it looks cool. I'm just glad that he's finally actually doing something real.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And I use the word real as in literal.
He never really advertises from the director of Back to the Future, like from the director of Forrest Gump and Castaway. It's like Castaway wasn't bad, but come on.
Castaway almost kind of feels like a forgotten movie nowadays, though.
It's really one of those movies. I mean, I'm not trying to like shit on something that came out in 2000 or 2001, whenever it was. But it's really one of those movies. It's kind of like it wasn't a bad movie, but it was Tom Hanks talking to a volleyball for like 2.5 hours.
Well, it was one of those movies. It was really big when it came out, but it wasn't like Forrest Gump that kind of like people still like Forrest Gump. Still, you always see Forrest Gump, but Castaway doesn't. I mean, I don't hear people talking about Castaway. They didn't make a fucking chain restaurant off Castaway.
No. Wilson's.
Well, I guess they have the
there's a volleyball or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's where he got the name from. He wasn't very creative in that name, but the name that's on the volleyball. That's what I will call you.
No, the thing with that movie
What pissed me off that movie is just he fucking comes back after all this shit. It's like his wife's already like remarried with kids or something like that.
Just it was like 4 years later, 5 years later.
Wasn't that long, was it? I thought it was only like a year and a half or something.
How does she have kids? How does she have like two like 5-year-old kids?
What I've learned from the movies is that the second that a man is gone for at least 6 months, the wife gives up right away and goes and marries the next thing that comes into her world. That's what movies tell us.
Well, no, they got the point across. He was there for a couple of years, unless she was already fucking him, and she already had like 2 kids.
Well, I know it was a couple years, but like, I mean, like the kids were just infants. It wasn't like they were like fucking like in college or something.
I want to say one of them was going to grade school.
Oh.
Going off the 2 times I've seen that movie.
I guess maybe it was like 6 or 7 years, but still, what the fuck? It's fucking Tom Hanks. You put faith in him.
It's like fuck my dentist.
Tom Hanks wouldn't betray you.
Because it was his dentist that his wife ended up marrying.
Yeah, it was. She always goes for the fucking, it's always the one near. You got to be very careful of that. You can't trust any wives with any man that works in a higher profession than you do. If you work for fucking FedEx or whatever you worked for in that movie, whoever's got a better job than you, don't trust him.
Well, he wasn't the standard FedEx. He was the guy that was like calling the shit. That movie, now I think about it, that was almost like a giant FedEx app. Regardless of what happens, if it takes you 6 or 7 years, Tom Hanks himself will fucking drive all the shit. Yeah, that's what happens. Everything that like he used to survive, you see him at the end of the movie dropping off at everybody's house on a road trip.
Yeah, it's like
something in the movie that's kind of like it's not like maybe they're trying to say something like sometimes the answers of life aren't always answered, but it's still kind of like bullshit because there's that part where there's that one package. There's that one package with the spiral like wingspan or something like that. And he just, for whatever reason, he looked at this package, he didn't open it. And earlier on in the movie, they showed the chick that like was mailing this thing off, and she had that symbol on everything in the house. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The farmer chick. And then he goes to drop off her package, and he has some words with her, like, "All right, well, I'll see y'all later." Something, I don't remember. I'm sure it was a long time ago, so maybe that was where she said the message of the movie or something. Then she drives off, like, well, okay. I never found out what the whole significance of the spiral thing was, but whatever. I guess that's life.
Whatever.
I need to watch that again. But
I really don't think I've seen that movie actually since the theaters. I think that's how long it's been. I'm surprised I actually remember this much details of the fucking movie for that long ago.
I saw it like twice on HBO or something like that. And then what else about that? I don't know. I'm not sure. It wasn't a horrible movie. It sounds like I hate it. I didn't hate it.
It's a good movie.
It's just whatever.
It's just not as good as Back to the Future.
Yeah, why do you?
The whole fucking point of
Back
this.
to the point. Why don't you advertise Back to the Future instead of fucking Castaway? All right,
Another
point
trailer
done.
we saw though was we saw another trailer for Red Dawn.
Same trailer as before.
Same trailer as before. What I'm really hoping this movie is, because what made the first Red Dawn really cool is the fact that that movie in under 10 minutes, it's fucking already into the action and what's going on. From this trailer, now I haven't seen the movie obviously, but from this trailer, it almost looks like there's going to be a slight buildup.
20 to 30 minute buildup.
Yeah, because they're showing some scenes, like they're actually showing the Wolverines actually at a football game, and they have some stuff where they show kind of the Patrick Swayze character, who's now Thor, in a bar.
I miss the Sway so much.
I know, it's sad.
No, but anyway, yeah. Just got depressing.
See, it would be really if
the world would be a better place
really
if the
cool
Sways was still here.
If Swayze was still here and him and Charlie had like fucking what if they were the fucking dads in the movie? Like
we've seen this before. We know. Actually, they fucking died at the end. So
well, no, not their characters,
Oh.
but yeah, not their physical characters, but just Patrick, like one of those ones they played the dads in this one.
Oh
instead.
yeah. Have Charlie avenge me.
I think that'd be the Sways. I feel. I think Sheen would be the guy.
Sways doesn't ask for revenge. He's
Sways would fucking kick that fence down.
He would just kill all the Russians single-handedly, like he would in Roadhouse.
Well, I guess he'd be killing all the Koreans.
Oh yeah. Well, whatever.
But something the only thing about this movie is like, okay, like it shows the Koreans and they're like invading like with troops and stuff. I mean, I know there's a lot of people in Korea and stuff, but that's not really that big of a country.
Actually,
How
I
many
heard
people
someone
can they
say
send
it's
over?
China in this one.
Is it China?
That's what I heard. Maybe
I'm
Korea.
just basing this off the Homefront game because it's the same writer
Oh, it's the same writer?
from Red Dawn. The guy who made that Homefront game.
Uh-huh.
That was the writer from Red Dawn, the '80s one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was the cool selling point of that game to me, really more than anything else. Even though I never played it, but
Apparently, it didn't get very good ratings.
it got okay. It got like a 7 or 8 out of 10.
Homefront did?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
See, most people like that's the funny thing about video games. Most people consider like a 7 or an 8 like not that good. Like if it's not 9 or a 10, like even in the fucking ratings things, like they'll even explain it. They'll be like, yo, a 7 or even a 6. That doesn't mean the game's fucking horrible. It just means it has some problems, but it's not a bad game. But people,
IGN gave Resident Evil 7.5.
the new
Resident Evil
one.
6, yeah.
I keep like Amazon, like
They
people
said
had low views.
they're saying like it has some of the best moments in the series in it, has some of the worst moments in the series in it. That was their general synopsis.
To this point, I still have yet because I've been kind of playing with Kyle, so like I just kind of wait till he comes over, and we beat the Leon one, we just about beat the Chris one, but we haven't played the Sherry Birkin one, and I'm guessing if there's any problems in it, it's got to be in those because the Leon and Chris things are fucking awesome. And the thing about them is they can be standalone games. It fucking takes about 10 hours to beat the Leon one, and it's gonna take almost about 10 hours to beat the Chris one too. The Chris one seems to go a little bit faster than the other one, but
Apparently, Sherry Birkin, is that her name?
Mhm.
Apparently, I think I read something somewhere that her whole thing is you're being chased by a nemesis-like creature.
That's okay. I mean, that didn't bother. I mean, like the Nemesis.
Like Resident Evil 3 or something.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
Resident Evil 3 sometimes that gets kind of like on your fucking nerves because it's like, what the fuck? Because sometimes he can like kill you almost in one hit.
Mm-hmm.
But
And that was
I don't know. Like that's the only thing. I haven't played that part, so I mean that might be the main reason why they're knocking it down. If they're knocking it down because the Leon and Chris thing, these people are fucking retarded. Because the Leon and Chris thing is like
they said they liked the Leon part. The Chris thing bothered them.
they didn't like the Chris part.
They said that there were moments where it was trying too hard to be Gears of War.
Well, it is doing the thing like everybody wants to be Gears of War. Mass Effect wants to be Gears of War. Resident Evil. Well, Resident Evil kind of want to be Gears of War, by Resident Evil 5.
I can't judge the game until I play it. I'm
But-
not taking IGN side.
And
I'm
the
just
thing about
saying
it's
what
kind
they
of cool.
said.
Is like I don't know. I just think it's like okay, the Leon one. It's kind of like it's like Resident Evil 2 mixed sort of Resident Evil 4, and it's like that's kind of like the best of both worlds almost in a sense
Mhm.
for most people. And I like pretty much almost anything Resident Evil. And the Chris part's kind of cool because it's just a full-on action. It's just like, what if these monsters, it makes sense because these guys are all a bunch of like military guys pretty much going in, and their whole fucking job is just to eliminate everything bioterrorism. So obviously it should be action-paced, and that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Now, I still haven't played the Sherry one yet, so that might be where the game starts to falter. But even, okay, here's the thing. The fucking Chris and Leon one, that right there gives you more gameplay than any fucking Resident Evil game has ever given you. So if that's not enough that you gotta banter on because the fucking extra, like almost like an extra mode they give you is not up to par, that's fucking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously, are we gonna bash on when a game gives you so much stuff that you go, they gave me so much stuff and I'm pissed? You know what? I got more Christmas presents than I wanted.
This is where you start saying this shit in a beer hall. You get on top of a table and say, video game reviewers are the worst kind of people. They're taking our jobs. They're destroying Resident Evil. Next thing you know, we're filling trenches.
Exactly. You know what? But I feel like respect what you get. Because in my personal opinion, the Leon and Chris stuff, that is good enough as is. That is, I literally would say that's fucking 5 out of 5 what they gave me there. Yeah, I could complain a little bit about the controls at first, but you know what? I came to really like the controls. Yeah, the menu thing that I fucking get hit when I go into my menu, I mean, whatever. I've done real-time menus before. That happened in other games. That's fine with me. You don't really have to use it that often, and once you get used to it, it's really fucking easy. So here's the thing. If that Sherry part is maybe not up to par, that's okay, because that's almost like a fucking bonus mission, really, when it gets down to it. You bought the game for fucking Leon and Chris.
Spencer Scott Holmes, everybody.
Yes, let me rant on about my Resident Evil thing. I have no idea why you can complain about that for at least the Leon and Chris part. It's a good enough game. That should be like the selling point.
I'm literally going off of what you said.
I haven't even played the Mercenaries mode yet, and that's even more gameplay. It is fucking awesome. I recommend Resident Evil 6. I almost said Resident Evil 5. Recommend Resident Evil 6 really highly. Back to fucking Red Dawn.
Capcom approves this message.
Back to fucking Red Dawn, though. See, the fear that I have in this movie is that what they're going to do is they're going to give you that build-up for about 20 or 30 minutes. And I'm sick and tired of the goddamn build-up in movies. You know, they last anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. And I know in the 70s we used to have a thing, I call it the 70s build-up. It's a very famous thing where nothing fucking happens till about an hour and 5 minutes. Now,
Sam Peckinpah used that a lot.
Yeah, Sam Peckinpah did. But his movies really gave you like a treat at the end.
Oh, you
I
got
will always say.
Wild Bunch is one of my favorite westerns.
He always gave you, no matter what, especially for the fucking time too, he gave you movies that were more violent than movies today. But back to Red Dawn. The whole point of that movie, in the first one, is I loved how it just threw you into the action, okay? Threw you straight in there. And you learned about all these characters as shit was going down. You know, there was no okay, this is how they got to this point. No. Shit happened. Missiles were fired at children in school, unarmed children. A black guy was the very first guy to die because he went out to reason.
I just love that part because he just walks, just because like,
yo,
we are dealing with unarmed children. What is our first response? Right, bazooka.
Shoot it straight at him. But here's the thing, though, is movies in the last about 10 years, they really have like held our fucking hands, like. And really explain this shit to us, like, really, like, you know, like, we can't just take this at face value. They have to lead us through about a half an hour, sometimes an hour.
Help us
really
tie our shoes.
Explain the character, how he got here. This is all the stuff, you know. And it's like
the love triangle between him and his ex-girlfriend.
And
whatever.
superhero movies are like some of the biggest falters to this.
Yes, they are.
They really want to hold your hand, you know, touch your penis a little bit, but not too hard. Don't want to get you too aroused. And lead you through. And I really just hope that Red Dawn doesn't do this, because that's one of the greatest things about a lot of like 80s movies and even the 70s movies that don't kind of have
the 70s build-up.
Yeah, is I love that they just drop
the Peckinpah. We can call it the Peckinpah.
They drop you into the fucking movie, and bam, there we are. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you learn. The thing is, like, people like they just assume that we're just too stupid to like not understand this. Like, we'll learn about these characters as we go through.
I think it's one of those things we're just trying to play too safe. Like, numbers and statistics say people like to have explain, or it's one of those things. Batman Begins did a good job of explaining how he got there, so we gotta take 80 minutes. You know, one of those kind of things.
Well, see, because I also Batman Beyond. Batman Begins, it did it right, because, you know, it gave you a fresh story, but something that, like, you never saw really in Batman at all.
Yeah, and just a different take on Batman, and plus actually taking story elements from the comics themselves and putting it into the movie.
And making it a really cool thing. You know what I mean?
Another thing with those movies, I mean, Dark Knight Rises isn't as good as the first two, but Dark Knight Rises is still a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Something with all the villains, with the exception of Two-Face, The villains were already the bad guys. We didn't need to know their entire backstory. They were already just like, okay, that's Joker, that's Ra's al Ghul, that's Bane, that's Catwoman.
Mhm.
We in like Two-Face, we learned his story, but they were using the long Halloween plot line to get Two-Face across, and so it didn't feel
Exactly.
like something we had to just sit through until he got bit by a spider or
Well,
something.
Spider-Man's a perfect example. Who the fuck doesn't know how Spider-Man came to be? I mean, that's like fucking in Legends. In the modern Bible of our life, that Spider-Man section, everybody fucking knows. We know how he got there. You know what I mean? Just like we know how Superman fucking got here and how we know how Batman fucking got here. Really, it's one of those ones like, if you really don't know, just ask the guy next to you because he fucking knows. Somebody in that theater is gonna know.
What if they just had the balls, just at the beginning of the Amazing Spider-Man, just like Peter and Uncle Ben are just walking down the street. Some guy just runs up, shoots Uncle Ben, says, "Uncle Ben!" The spider lands on his neck, bites him. Fuck! Amazing Spider-Man.
He runs after, kills that guy. Turns out that's the wrong guy somehow, some way.
Exactly.
Well, you really like. I feel with those superhero movies, you could really explain like the intro stuff in a quick like couple-minute montage. Really, when it gets down to
Like
it,
Incredible Hulk.
yeah, exactly. Because that stuff, I mean, you can just race through it and people will get it. Like, okay, and then here we go. Now we're at our story. That's how we got here. Give it a couple minutes. I think they did that in Punisher Warzone too, sort of.
He had a flashback.
Or he had a
at some
flashback.
point.
That's what it was. And that's another one. I just think a quick flashback, refresh.
Some people hated Warzone.
That movie was fucking awesome. That was
It
one of the. I think that's one of the, at least the top 10 best superhero movies ever made.
Because it had the gore aspect, which not very many like Punisher films at that point had that real heavy gore aspect.
No, I mean, well,
I never read it. I can't compare it to the comics. I never read a Punisher comic. I know of him.
I've read like miscellaneous single issues of Punisher.
I know of him when he comes into other like Marvel series that I read, but beyond that, it's kind of unlimited knowledge of the movies and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I mean, it was violent. It was steady. I mean, yeah, the guy that played Jigsaw was a bit over the top and kind of cheesy, but whatever. The action was good. And isn't that primarily why you go see a Punisher film in the first place?
And speaking of those movies in a sense, I finally got to watch the 1993 Judge Dredd again.
How was that?
On Netflix, that thing was on like the most longest wait forever. I think because everybody saw Dredd and they're like, I really don't remember the other one. Or
Not
like,
everybody. It didn't do too good in the box office.
Well, the people that do enough people to make it have a fucking long wait. Apparently,
there you go. All right.
And I think the thing is that they probably didn't have very many copies of that Dredd. They were like, well, this movie's kind of forgotten by now. It's it was there. And watching that movie again, it's not that bad. It's not an amazing movie, but it's not that bad, and it's pretty accurate. It's got a lot of the characters from the comic books, because I went and skimmed through a couple comics just to see, It's got a lot of stuff from there.
I think the big thing is he takes the helmet off.
He takes the helmet off, but they almost get a reason for him to do it, because he's kind of like, pretty much imprisoned. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you can't wear your fucking suit in prison.
Well, there's even moments where he was like walking around with the helmet off when he wasn't even like out, when he wasn't even in prison, if I remember correctly.
The only time he only took it. Really, he keeps the helmet on pretty well at the beginning. And I mean, the movie's not like, it's not like a shoot. The thing about it, I think that's probably why people really don't like it mainly, is because it's not nearly as serious. And they put Rob Schneider in there, which is really the only bad part of the movie, is Rob Schneider. And what he does is he takes this grim, dark world and makes it a lighthearted.
Yeah.
You take him away, it's a fucking grim, dark world. Because, it's got all these mutants and it's got cannibals and it's got all this shit in it. But Rob Schneider's there to make it like a little bit fun for everybody.
Really, the apocalypse ain't so bad, kids. Whoa!
Yeah. And that's about my only complaint is that, because the look of the movie is pretty cool. It's got, the action's pretty good. It's one of those movies, it's a rated R movie, but it really feels like a PG-13 movie, though.
Yeah, I remember that.
It cuts away a lot, and, like, it shows blood, but that's about it. No gore. I don't really remember any swearing. They might have said fuck, like, once in that movie.
I remember the chick said, like, to, like, an intern or something in that movie, like, you stupid fuck, or something.
I think that was the only fuck in the movie. I really don't know. There might have been another one, but that was about it. But it's one of those movies, it's not that bad. It's nothing to complain about. You can complain about the Rob Schneider part. That's about it. Mm-hmm. So I guess because when I look back at movies sometimes now, I understand kind of like where they come from and like what decade they are. I think it's really easy to complain about a movie when it comes out. But when you look back on it, you go like, well, it was the 90s. That was a time they were experimenting with comic book movies. They kind of, they want to keep them kind of friendly. They made it R, but they kind of made it like a kid's movie still, in a sense, I guess. And sometimes, like, in a sense, like, people complain about some of these things, but if you really pick up a Judge Dredd comic at that right time and you flip through it, the way that things are drawn, they are brightly colored and they kind of are a little bit over the top. And I think the thing is, like, in movies, people don't really want that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put something over the top in a movie, it looks kind of weird. But I think it looked kind of cool. It really actually reminded me of Mario Brothers.
I remember that movie reminded me of Mario Brothers.
It really has like that same vibe as Mario Brothers.
That's the one we always use for 90s cyberpunk examples.
Yeah, it has that total Mario Brothers cyberpunk 90s thing. But, I mean, not the greatest movie in the world. But
not the worst.
I don't think it's like bad. I don't think it's a horrible movie. I remember because Kyle was telling me, he's like, the movie had like no fucking action. And I was like, the movie's filled with fucking action. What do you mean there's no fucking action in it?
I haven't seen it
The action
since
almost doesn't stop in it.
I haven't seen it since probably I was a freshman in high school or something like that. So I gotta watch it again.
It's I would say it's watch it again. I mean, as I said, not the most amazing thing, but
something we actually this is a little off topic. Think you have time for it?
Yeah.
Something that came out this week that I really wanted to get, but I'm just low on money right now. Prometheus, which is something.
They had the rape edition came out. It literally was supposed to have like 7 hours of special features, and it's supposed to have about like 23 minutes or something added into it.
Which this is where we usually talk about it and tell you what we saw, but neither of us have it. So
no, I would love to buy that movie, but I just know I won't be able to buy it anytime soon.
Because the thing is, we wanted to do a podcast on it, we kind of jumped on the podcast thing a little too late. So now
that movie was almost the kind of movie that almost kind of influenced us to do a podcast.
Because we had so many like jokes coming out.
Well, because we had all these jokes, and we're like, we're gonna do an animation on it, and then we're like, no, we don't have enough time with that and Batman. We're not gonna have enough time. And then we're like, well, what if we fucking did a podcast on it? And by that point, it was like too late. So we're like, fuck it, we'll do it when the DVD comes out.
Yeah, and neither of us got a chance to get the DVD, which I will get that eventually. But I guess overall, Prometheus is a movie that a lot of people walked away with mixed reviews on that movie. I thought it was pretty good. There was a few things that bothered me about it, just logic flaws, which was, and I'll even say them right now. My big thing is it was just dumb shit. Like there's the part where we first off there's like the scary British guy at first, the red dreadlocks. She's like, I'm only here for the money. It's like, oh, this guy must be fucking badass.
Out of the 15 people you hired
to go, 15 people in the entire world to go to like a place to find alien life. Who you hire? She's like, oh, this guy must be a badass. If he's this hard to work with. What do you do? What are you? Just I'm a geologist. And the second shit got bad, he was like, I don't like the look of this. I'm out of here,
Yeah, he's a total like pussy afterward. It's one of those movies. There's so many things like to me. I just found more like there were funny things. Like I guess other people maybe were complaining, but I just thought of them as like hilarious.
And there's the part where like this right here is just a big logic flaw to me because there's no way you can this day and age to be able to figure this out and work around it. There's the part when they're walking through that giant labyrinth. And like the nerdy guy and the geologist get lost, and like they have the whole place mapped out. They brought the little robot things that went around mapping the entire place out. They get lost, and they're on the radio with like the captain saying, "Where are we?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know, shit. There's life over there." And he just like says it so calmly. He says like, "What? There's life? Yeah. Oh, it's gone now. Wait, it's back. No, you guys best hold tight." He's just sipping coffee. It's not a big fucking deal. They're on a plane.
I love the captain in that movie.
The captain was badass. I love that dude. And then he was it's like at this point in time, you have the ability to go like light years to another planet, and you don't have some kind of technological device that can just input the data that they're reading back at the ship after they mapped out the whole area. It's just one of those kind of things that makes no sense to me, that kind of thing.
This reminds me of a Judge Dredd thing really quickly. This bothered me in this movie too. I know this is 1993, but there was a thing like where Judge Dredd gets convicted. Like I just couldn't believe it. Because they had fucking GPS by that point, and you think they would have used that in a sci-fi movie, if anything. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't they fucking know that wasn't him in the right, wouldn't he be GPS tracked? Come on. You would know where...
Was it his gun or something, or what was it? I don't remember.
No, because he got convicted. In the movie, he has like a brother, pretty much. And
a clone or something like that?
Well, apparently they're all like clones of like the best. I don't know if that's totally in the comics, but at least might be. But they're all clones of like the best guys, like the older guys that run the council. So him and his brother was pretty much like, it was pretty much one thing where like, it was like twins. Where like Dredd got all the good qualities and his brother got all the shit. But instead, like he was all like the bad qualities of like a human being.
So the bad guy is Danny DeVito.
Pretty much. And so since they pretty much have like the same DNA or whatever, that's how he got convicted.
You think they would have known about that?
But still,
you got this one other guy.
Yeah, that was just a loophole. But back to Prometheus.
And then there's the whole, just that part just kind of seems stupid to me. And then there's the other part. Now I'm gonna sum up all my all my problems with the movie right off the bat, and then from there on in, it's pretty much a fine movie. I really
love the
enjoyed
movie
it.
still.
That was really good.
And the thing I mean is a lot of the problems I found like funny, but like funny
Yeah.
in a good way. Like it almost made me enjoy the movie even more. Strangely enough.
Well, there's a part where the one nerdy guy, they see like kind of like an early version of a face hugger pop out of the mist and look around. He says, "Oh hey, look at you, baby! Hey!" He's like coming up. Does that thing look fucking safe? He's like, I want to grab it. I want to take it back to the space. It's like, why the fuck would you grab a snake-looking thing that pops head out of this mist? Why? All right, yeah, you have your hand up.
Well, I was just gonna. I was gonna let you finish that. I just wanted to get in like a part that
That's
I
all I
really
really
want to talk
had on
about.
it. I know it's the same part I want to talk
They're
about.
probably
too.
all the same part. This is my favorite one. That's like the main character of the movie. They're literally on this fucking planet for like 6.
Not the main character, the boyfriend of the main character.
Well, I guess the main character is the woman. Well, I guess those two are kind of the main characters, even though he kind of gets petered off after a while.
Yeah.
But say the main man character of the movie, they're on the fucking planet for like literally 6 hours. They go to one fucking cave, to discover stuff, and they don't find anything. And he's back like at the fucking bar, like playing billiards, I think, and he's like, "Fucking planet, nothing out here. Traveled, 3 fucking years and hypersleep and nothing out there. Space sucks. Yeah, space sucks." And it's just like, well, what'd you want? Well, I was looking for an alien. I just wanted to fuck it.
Well, wait. Let me get this straight. I'm Michael Fassbender's character. You'll be the guy who wants a fucking alien. Let me get this straight. Your girlfriend, who's a geologist, an archaeologist, and on top of that, she's really hot and really devoted to you. You have her, and you want a fucking alien.
Yeah, she's not a fucking alien now, is she? Yeah,
Why
I
do
fucked her. My whole goal of this is why I joined fucking, like, Space Science Colony.
Space science. We're very technical with the terms in the futures. I went to the science school, so I go to space school, so I can go fucking
So
alien.
I fuck humans, right? And, after a while, you just go, this
practice.
is fucking boring. You know what? I want to go out and fuck anything that moves in space. And I was looking for an alien, and I'm pissed. And I want to go home. I don't care. We were here for 6 hours, and I'm pissed.
My dick isn't hard anymore. It's gone soft. It's time to call this trip quits.
This just made me laugh so hard, because, like,
But I think
they were just, it's like, they didn't fucking go to any other cave. I mean, this guy
one day, not even one day,
fucking,
6 hours.
You spent all these years in hypersleep to go this fucking billions of miles, trillions of miles, way the fuck out here. And you spend 6 hours and you're already fucking bored.
Fuck this. We could try the other side of the planet. There's another cave over there. Fuck it.
Made up my mind already.
My dick is soft. I'm not going nowhere. No. And then I love the other thing. Because they get across that the girl, Elizabeth, I remember her name for whatever reason, but they get across that she's super religious. The second she gets impregnated, she wants a fucking abortion.
I love that.
I love that.
Because her whole theories are based off religion. And then the second, what was the android character in the movie tells her, like...
Michael Fassbender's character.
Yeah, Michael Fassbender. He tells her, he's like, "Oh, there's a foreign object in you." And she's like, "What the fuck? I gotta get this out." She starts panicking. She's running around. She's like, "Get it out of me! Get it out of me!" So she runs down the hall because she remembers that the bitch on the plane, or the bitch on the
Charlize
ship,
Theron.
yeah, Charlize Theron has her own fucking medical bay personal thing. So she runs in there and she's like looking through the switch. She's like, "Where's the abortion? Where's the abortion? Where's the abortion?"
I think to make it safe, so like Fox News or something, when you jump on, I'm like, it's made for a man only. It's
So
like,
it smells like the sexist machine. This machine, this made me really question it. Why did Charlize Theron
she did have her dad on board.
spend all this fucking money? But it was in her fucking room.
Yeah,
Spend all this money, all this space money, on a machine made for a man.
She couldn't get no space abortion.
What, did she get this on sale or something? I mean, like, really? I bet you there was one made for a woman too. I can't imagine.
I think
Like, we only sell the men in this shop. Well, you can buy it, but we don't make products for women here.
They're very sexist in the future in alien land, in
So,
alien world. But no,
she gets a male. But here, back to the main character. She goes to get a male abortion. They call it, like, they say it's removing a foreign object. That's called an abortion.
I just like, what if it was, because it was the most high-tech machine, what if it was just like a crane with like a rusty like clothes hanger going down?
I remember that's what I was really picturing. I was just waiting for that to come in.
Just a rusty clothes hanger. It's just like this fancy, super high-tech robot hand holding a clothes hanger. It just goes down, pulls it,
But that was just my favorite thing. I really think they should have called the movie Prometheus and the Space Abortion. That's what we're gonna title the animation, really. But
we weren't even call it Prometheus. We were just gonna call it Space Abortion. But then like, nah, we gotta get done with drunk Batman. Let's just focus on that.
But that part just made me, it's just my favorite thing. It's just like, I just have to repeat that. The second a fucking full-on super religious Christian person gets a foreign object in them that they didn't want, oh, it's all fucking bets off. Give me that abortion.
It's gotta fucking go. Well, it's in space,
so it's a space abortion.
Yeah, it's a space abortion.
It's out of God's.
It's out of God's eye because they're not over like Earth or anything like that.
And it went through the stomach, so it's technically not.
It's the alien god. It's the space jockey.
Yeah, the space jockey. Oh, speaking of space jockey, that's one of my other favorite parts of the fucking end of the movie.
I really feel bad for the space jockey because it gets fucking face fucked and tentacle raped.
Yeah, at the very end of the movie.
Yeah, but the thing with the space jockey is, like, all right, what happens? They're like, there's one still alive. We gotta go speak to it. And they go talk to it. And then there's the whole part where, like, they all crowd around. Guy Pearce, who's all dubbed up in makeup, comes out. He's all, like, hunched over. He's all trying to just talk to it. The thing just comes alive. He's like, what the fuck? He's just looking around. And he starts killing him. It's like, I don't fucking blame him. I was a slave for a couple thousand years. I haven't had a chance to get my space coffee. And you little fucks just gotta wake me up? Fuck this! He like rips Michael Fassbender's head off and kicks like Guy Pearce across the room.
Well, like for him, like for his 8 hours a day sleep, he needs like 8,000 years, and he only got 5, and he is now pissed.
He needed a space coffee. That's all. They're like, he's going to destroy the world. He could just be going to the ship to get a space coffee, and then he saw you guys were hostile, so he's like, well, fuck this, I'm leaving. The chick had to crash her ship. No, they all had to crash their ship into the space jockey ship. So of course he's pissed off coming after the chick. And by that point she leads him into
fucking sense.
Then by that point she leads him into the room where he gets like face fucked and tentacle raped.
Pretty much. That was the end of the movie.
Oh, the end of the movie is where like the early version
of the alien. Oh, yeah, the early version of the alien.
And instead of just popping out of his chest, kind of like completely
the end.
Up. Yeah, the end.
The end, the double end. I actually can't wait. I really want to get that one because I really want to see that extra like 23 minutes or so, or 27 minutes. Because really does
the lead scene is that dude actually fucks an alien.
He gets what he wants.
It's a happy ending for him.
Because I really like that movie a lot, and like really, if anything else, add to it. And if Ridley said to add this stuff, I trust the Ridley.
I trust Ridley.
And plus, supposed to have a bunch of special features, and we all know Ridley Scott movies always have fantastic special features. Like Blade Runner had amazing special features.
Gladiator.
Yeah, American Gangster had a big fat double disc.
Mm-hmm.
Gladiator was like, I remember that when that movie came out, it was just like, it blew your fucking mind how much special features you could have on one movie. It was almost like overkill. But that
was one of the movies they were really trying to heavily sell when DVDs first came out. Like, be sure to pick up Gladiator, The Matrix, and Meet the Parents.
Well, Gladiator was one of those movies like, who didn't have Gladiator? Like when you first got a DVD player, everybody had Gladiator. It was
Gladiator, like Matrix, yeah.
Yeah, but even Gladiator, that was one of the movies like, not everybody had Matrix, not everybody had Meet the Parents. But everybody fucking had Gladiator. Like, you went to anybody's house. The kid only has 3 movies, but for some reason on the DVD player, fucking had Gladiator.
The first 3 movies we had were when we got a DVD player. Because what happened is our VHS broke, so we just went out and got a DVD player instead. And it was Gladiator, Meet the Parents, and The Matrix. Which I didn't see Meet the Parents, but we just ended up buying it. It kind of blew your mind. I mean, now it's like whatever. But back when I was a kid, like, whoa, the menu is animated,
Yeah, and you can select scenes.
Yeah.
Actually, like, I guess that was on Laserdisc, so it didn't blow my mind nearly as much.
I never had a Laserdisc, so yeah.
I knew people had Laserdisc, so like, they had all that kind of on there. But this was the first time I had in my personal own house. It was almost kind of like back in the day, like, it was probably the first day that somebody had like a television like in their house where it's like, oh my god, change channels. There's all this stuff to watch. I don't even have to go to the movie theaters anymore. I mean? It's almost like I don't have to go to my friend's house that has a Laserdisc player anymore.
It's kind of like that. No, but the back on Prometheus, so that was a lot of people had mixed opinions on it. I liked it. I hope they come out with Prometheus too.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are a little disappointed that Prometheus wasn't directly a prequel. Like I think Prometheus 3 or whatever will end where it ends, and that will lead into Alien. I think I heard something like that.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. I kind of hope that, like, I guess if there was any complaint, just the fact that since you know it's an Alien movie, since the cat's fucking out of the bag. I mean, if it was just a standalone movie, almost, I don't think you think too much of it, but I think the second somebody says it's an alien movie, the whole time you're sitting there going, "When's the fucking alien gonna come in? When's the fucking alien gonna come in?
Well,
Where's the xenomorph at?"
here's the thing with that movie. I think originally originally it was
Well,
called like
originally it was gonna
Alien
be
Beginnings or
yeah.
something like that, or Alien Origins or Alien Beginnings, something around those lines. And Ridley Scott was going to do it. Which, even though I like this movie, I'll be honest, I'd rather see that movie.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I'd rather
No,
see.
I rather see the actual like alien. Like Prometheus. I really think it's a really cool movie, and it's a
It
total
was
like
good.
classic sci-fi style. They don't have. It's good because like nowadays I just feel like everything's got to be fucking over the top, and everybody there's got to be like action packed like no other. This movie fucking treats it serious in a sense, and just gives you a good old fucking space opera.
And even they kind of had the whole like the music in it up until like the very end. It was just kind of like space, isn't it so mysterious? Just a big kind of like adventure, like And then we get to the end, it's like, duh, space, it's fucked up, And then but then like he eventually stopped and said, no, actually I changed my mind. I kind of came up with my own thing. It's been called Prometheus. It's not going to be called Alien Begins. Like, oh, okay, it's its own separate series, whatever. And then it goes on. More things are leading into it, and there's like, is this actually the Alien prequel? And then he said like, it's not an Alien prequel yet. It has the same company from Alien in it, and it's not an Alien prequel yet. There's a space jockey over there.
Exactly.
So eventually it's just like, all right, just fucking call it a prequel.
Mm-hmm. But I think they're gonna get if
the second one's probably gonna have some alien.
I bet you'll be very alien-ish by the second one.
Have more space jockey stuff in it too, which would be cool. But it'll be cool to see some stuff on like because the alien actually comes in at the very end of that flick.
So that's what I mean. I
got chills in that part when it just pops out and they play the theme right there. Just like, even though it's an alien early version, I was like, that looks pretty cool.
It's pretty badass. Makes me want to see the next one. Well, I'm glad to see that. Well, there's one more thing I want to say before I end this podcast. I want to talk about something that we have to watch multiple times, and that's that fucking La Miserables. And this is what I call it. I call it La I don't give a fuck, Hugh Jackman. And I don't want to see your goddamn stupid play movie that annoys the crap out of me, and you play it before a movie like Dread.
What the fuck was that about?
But yeah, like that's what I just think about that movie.
No. The thing about it is they have like that 5-minute kind of like his behind the scene look at Las Miserables or whatever the fuck it's called.
Robs. I think I finally got down the pronunciation of it finally after like hearing it multiple times.
Like, yeah, say it in proper American.
Yeah, once you move it to French and they're like little, ooh, I won a war once. Look at me. Oh, life sucks. We gotta sing about it. Let's go eat some snails. I
don't want to sound like that guy, but generally, I just kind of watch this trailer. Like, here's my thing. I don't want to like completely down an entire genre, but generally, I have trouble taking music seriously unless they're tongue in cheek or unless they're comedy. Unless like stuff where it's musical, it's cheesy, we get it. But I get that even that right there, it's kind of like, okay, whatever. But when it's like we take it so seriously and we're singing, I can't take it. I can't.
All those every musical I've ever seen like that, I've only seen a few of them because you don't need to see very many of those to realize you don't like that genre. Mm-hmm. But it's just like it's just like see the thing about Rocky Horror Picture Show. The thing I like about that one is because
so fucking weird.
It's so fucking weird. I think that's what makes it. It's just so weird that's what makes it kind of cool. And then the songs are kind of cool, but like really, what makes it so weird? I think that's the selling point of that movie. Mm-hmm. Like Cannibal the Musical, I just think because that one just kind of
funny.
It's just funny, and that's why I like that one. And South Park's another perfect example. I think Trey Parker does.
Yeah, Trey Parker, Matt Stone are genius.
So like that, they make sense. One of the only ones that I still think it's kind of weird that they're singing in it, but I still kind of like the movie is the Sweeney Todd.
I like that too. That's like one of the few like Tim Burton films of recent Tim Burton films I walked away saying that's not so bad. That was good. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just those ones that take themselves real seriously, I just can't take seriously.
I think what really saves Sweeney Todd though is just that's one of those cases where Tim, even though it's kind of like almost it's kind of what I say that what the cliche Tim Burton movie has become. It's okay. We like Danny Elfman music, put Johnny Depp in a silly hat, front and center,
or silly hair, silly hat, silly hair, something on his head.
That was a hat. I don't care what people say. I don't think that was really his hair. No, and it's one of those things. It's kind of like. That's actually one of those few situations where, not a few situations, because it's worked back in the early 90s, but it's one of those situations this day and age where that imagery really worked, and I think it's the imagery and just the story itself. So the story of Sweeney Todd's a good story. Mm-hmm. It's just, I'm not the big musical guy, and I was kind of the whole time, I was just kind of like, I'd enjoy this more if there wasn't singing, but it was still a good movie. So.
And here's the one thing I think that Sweeney Todd saves itself, is because what that one comes across as is not necessarily a musical.
An opera.
Yeah, it's an opera, but in English. And I think that's what saves that movie too. Is I think since it's an opera, instead of being like a musical, that's what makes it kind of better. If it's something about opera, I don't know what it is. You can, I guess I always thought because opera was in a different language, that's why it was like easier to take in. It's like, oh yeah, that works.
It's not as gay if it's another language.
Yeah, if I can't hear the fucking words, then I'm fine with it. But yeah, fuck musicals generally. There's only a couple of them. I like it. Like the handful I like.
The Old Man Orange hate cast.
It's like the handful I like, but that's it.
No, I'm not big on musicals. I hate a bunch of musicals.
Mainly it's those ones that fucking that ones take themselves. They want to be a serious drama, and they're singing. That doesn't fucking work. I'm sorry, that's not realistic.
I can't take it seriously either.
I mean, if you're a comedy, that's one thing. If you do it maybe like an opera, that's another thing. But fuck you, Hugh Jackman. Quit bothering my movies. Be more Wolverine-like.
I don't hold it against Hugh Jackman.
Well, I don't either, but just
I don't think it was his idea to walk into like, listen, here's what we should do. Before
Regal's got a gun to my head.
Yeah. He should just, but if you just during that thing, hello, I'm Hugh Jackman. You see his eyes reading and looking, going like, reading like paper. You see like someone's holding a cue card partially in front of the camera. You see like hand shuffling cards he has to read.
Well, it's like, I love Hugh Jackman and all, but just, I think by seeing these previews during every movie I go to see, and then having to fucking see the trailer after it later on, it's almost making me not like Hugh Jackman. And I want to love Hugh Jackman because I really like him.
I like how you solely hold a grudge against Hugh Jackman and Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway.
Well, Russell Crowe, he doesn't talk. I think it's just because Hugh Jackman's the one talking to you. I don't like he's talking like since he's on a big screen, he's talking down to me in his big screen world and in my little seat theater.
They talked to Russell Crowe at some point. He was like, "I'm Russell Crowe. I'm in this movie. I look like Captain Crunch, and there's a line on my shirt right now."
Yeah, that's really true. And we found a way to make Anne Hathaway look really fucking ugly.
Yeah. I didn't know that was possible.
Yeah, I didn't think so. And you look at the movie and you're like, God, that's fucking hideous.
There's some parts in the trailer they show before.
When they say somebody got beat up with an ugly stick, they were talking about her.
She's still hot. They show her out of the not right there in those particular scenes. They showed her like in the interview. Okay, yeah, she still looks good. It's not like she's getting old or nothing like that.
No.
But anyway, so
I think it's a good place to wrap it up.
I think we talked more about like the trailers and tangents and Resident Evil.
I think we talked about Argo for literally 20 minutes, and that was about it.
Said fuck it.
That's okay though. I was actually kind of afraid that we weren't gonna have enough to talk about because of like the other. We didn't see the other movie.
Yeah.
But
it's almost becoming.
I think there was enough good trailers to talk about, and there was enough. And then Prometheus, I guess, kind of worked well.
It's almost becoming sort of a format. Talk about a movie, trailers, the DVD that came out. It's almost becoming the format unintentionally, really.
It really is.
We'll see what happens. We'll see that takes us. Hopefully tomorrow. No promises. This probably will be posted like 2 or 3 days from now. But hopefully tomorrow I'll have another. Old Man Orange. Yeah, that'll be great if you can come in and do another podcast. I'll need you to come in on Sunday too. Do another podcast. It'll be great. No. Hopefully we'll have another Old Man Orange radio hour or radio show tomorrow.
And I got some good topics to talk about.
Yeah, I gotta get caught up on the news. I know they had the VP debate, which really fucking matters.
But yes, this is Old Man Orange. What fucking matters? I'm Spencer Scott Holmes.
I'm Ryan Dunigan.
See ya.
Bye.